セガサターンシロ
What's up? What's up?
Welcome,
Happy Friday, Shiro Show. Everybody, welcome in.
Friday.
How you guys doing?
Pretty good.
We're good. How are you,
I'm
Dave?
feeling a little better. I'm feeling a little better.
That's good.
I'm glad to hear. We were worried about that for a second. We thought
We missed you last week. Yeah.
Yeah, we missed you.
Yeah.
It was rough.
I missed
it was
me.
rough. I was
missed
crying
you.
for like. I mean, Dan had to like comfort me. I was crying on the podcast.
I
Yeah.
don't think it went that badly.
He had to
No.
hold me. I was like, I can't go on, Dan.
It was quite
Yeah.
the opposite. This show
He definitely
was
had to keep
mayhem
you on
without
track.
Dave.
He had to keep you on track, Pat. 'Cause-
Yeah, he was
no,
like-
actually,
he
it
was
was
like,
quite.
"Patrick, stop."
It was a lot of fun listening to, though. I have to be
Yeah,
honest because
that's good.
It was insane.
you know, Pat, Pat was just kind of let loose, let off the leash.
Yes.
Yeah, they let me off my chains, and I just went crazy.
No, yeah, it was great.
I ate a man.
Well, we're glad to have you back, Dave.
Yeah, let's see. Who do we have with us? We have Wiener Bob, Tales of Saturn. Tales of Saturn been uploading a lot of good stuff about the competition lately, by the way.
Yeah,
I have to shout him for posting all that good B-reel footage. We got Dragons of Saturn, Pudgy Bunny, of course, there. Captain Hodden, Fart Daily. Fart
Gotta
Daily.
fart daily,
It's good to
dude.
fart daily, you know, just get a little gas out.
I fart minutely, to be honest with you.
Moose Tracks, Stone Man, Neil Henderson, Nathan Anderson,
Maybe secondly.
David Zaney's here, and he likes big butts. He cannot lie.
Does he lie?
Analog Black Sheep, Christian Marte, Slow Coin, Double Dime. Who else? Colin Pierce, Sasquatch, Captain Hodden, Eddie G, and A Murder of Crows is here.
Eddie G.
Also,
What's up,
thank
what's
you
up?
everybody for watching.
Everybody give us a
Thank you
thumbs
for
up.
watching the show of Shiros.
Thumbs up. Get it out of the way. That
Thumbs
way.
up. Or thumbs down. Just like, you know, was it Gladiator that's like he like thumbs up and then goes to thumbs down and they kill him?
Yeah, I think so. I think
No,
that's it. It's
I-
like Julius Caesar.
I have to
That's-
say,
I don't remember.
I have a private
Pizza shop?
I have like a private personal account that I use to kind of just monitor Facebook not Facebook, YouTube algorithm, you know, what it's feeding to you. And I do know I have noticed that it's feeding more Shiro stuff to me as more people like thumb it up and teach YouTube what's good. So I think it's
That's
working.
cool.
I do think it's working. They're finally catching on. They're like, oh, these guys create Saturn related content and people kind of like it. So
Yeah.
let's keep recommending it. You
I
know,
hope they
so
do anyway.
yeah, so I think it's working. What have you guys been up to in the last week? This past week?
I almost died on a mountain. That was
What has
fun.
this week meant to
no.
you, Dan? I'm just kidding.
What has this week meant to you?
Well, I'm glad that Pat survived his hiking adventure, his mountain climbing adventure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was
Tell
fun.
everybody about that.
I am glad too.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell us
It's
the
fun to
story?
almost die.
So I guess doxing myself, I went hiking on the Superstition Springs Mountain, Superstition Mountains. Basically, it's a giant mountain range that you climb up. I thought it was regular hiking, like we're just going like a path, like by my house, but it was like an hour away, like by where the Renaissance Festival is. I'm sure that people like Sasquatch will know where it's at, but it pretty much turned into rock climbing. There's so many rocks. Like I'm shocked how many rocks the Earth can make and put in centrally on the Superstition Mountains, because there's a lot of rock climbing, I wish I had better shoes. I didn't have hiking shoes. I just had a pair of like the Asics I was wearing. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, the Superstition Mountains ain't no joke. Yeah, so it was fun. I got to the top of it though. I'll see if I can send pictures.
That's good.
In the chat. But yeah, it was very, very nice. I mean, besides, and like literally I went home, I crashed and my feet were sore for the next 3 days.
No, geez.
It was
I'll bet.
pretty nasty. I probably should have
Well,
put in Shiro Insider, but I'll put in general.
Hey, thanks,
Well,
Wiener Bob.
congrats on surviving and making it to the end of it. So that's
One
pretty
Dan
good.
and Dave dollar and 99 Patrick pennies. Dollar. Well,
Why am
so
I
wait,
pennies?
Dan
What
Dan
is
and
that
I have to
supposed to
share a
mean?
dollar? Is that
Yeah,
what you're
why
saying?
am I 99 pennies? That sounds insulting.
I
Why
mean,
am only
technically
worth
you got
99
more
pennies?
because
You
Dan
got
and I have to
most.
share.
Oh, yeah, because you're half.
Yeah.
Okay,
Shit.
well,
You got
I'll
Sad.
take that.
each.
You know what's really sad? The dollar store is not the dollar store anymore. It's more like the $2
No, it's not.
store. Yeah.
Yeah.
They were always raising prices at the dollar store, but now it's like you can't even buy anything for $1 anymore. Everything's been marked up to at least like $1.50 or something. Yeah, that's just inflation.
But thank you, Wiener
Yeah.
Bob, for the $2 or the one Dan and Dave $1.99 Patrick pennies.
Great alliteration.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
I didn't
see,
realize
D
that.
names equal dollar.
Dollars and
Yeah.
pennies. Damn, man, I am dumb today. I'm sorry.
Well, I had a pickup this week, and it was more Sumo oranges.
Oh, yes.
So this video brought to you by Big Sumo. Make sure to
Big Sumo, get your Sumo couches,
Sumo oranges.
The buy-in on
Sumo
those
No,
is
just the Sumo
.com.
oranges.
They're not cheap.
They're delicious.
Okay.
No, they're
Well,
not cheap.
that's
They're
our
not
new
cheap. They're-
sponsor,
especially
Sumo
where you
Lounge.
live, Dave.
I
They
saw-
are expensive
yeah.
in California.
they're at Trader Joe's, but they want like an arm and a leg
well,
for
that
them. And I
probably
was like,
makes it even worse.
how good are they? I actually thought of you, Dan, when I saw those. I was like,
yeah.
well, Dan says they're really good.
I mean, they are like the tastiest orange you've ever
Sure.
tasted times 10. They're so good. They're like $4 a pound here in
Yeah.
Ohio. They're probably like $2 more a pound than that in California. But I mean, buy like one just to try it out. It's
Okay.
like share
I'm
with
gonna have to
family.
counter your
everybody gets a
argument,
couple
Dan.
slices. What's that?
Dan, I have to say
Yeah.
that those are not the tastiest oranges. That is
Oh?
reserved exclusively for blood oranges. Those are the tastiest oranges.
Oh no, those
I
stink.
don't know. Have
Those
you
like
tried Sumos? No.
No, I haven't eaten
Yes,
cherry
you
yet.
can't say that.
The
you
thing I
gotta-
don't
you gotta
like
try
about-
Sumo, and then you
yeah.
come back and tell me.
this has
better-
become a fruit
okay.
podcast. We're
Well, I'm
try-
sorry, but like all I'm saying is that nothing has beaten my blood oranges. So like,
So far, because you haven't tried Sumo. Sumos are
wow. Well,
Mm-hmm.
you know what? I'll get my butt to was it Dave and Buster's and picks them up.
I'm
They
lost.
have arcade
you lost
games,
me.
not
You
groceries.
lost me.
What's the one that you went to then?
He went to Trader Joe's.
Trader
I went to
Joe's.
Joe's. Okay,
Yeah.
why did I
Tiny
say
Eagle
Dave
doesn't
Dave and
this for you.
Buster's. I don't know. You had
Do
game.
they
You
have,
had like.
do they have some oranges at Dave and Buster's?
I doubt it.
Yeah,
Unless they're a
I doubt it.
prize
Yeah, no.
in the prize
well,
booth.
Not
I'll go to Trader Joe's and get some Sumo oranges, and then I'll like
Yeah.
I'll be like, maybe Dan's talking about it, and then if it's not as good as a blood orange, I'm gonna be very upset with you, Dan, because
Okay, that's
blood
fair. I'm
oranges
willing
are
to
the
take
best.
that risk because I think Sumos will win.
Oh, you know
in
what?
your heart and your
I forgot
mind.
to share. I forgot to
Alrighty.
share the stream out on Twitter today. I'm
Oh,
no.
did-
Yeah, you did. Yeah,
Not-
no, I just did
Oh,
it.
Pat did it. Okay, good.
Yeah,
Cool.
I
I
saw
see.
it.
On
I
Facebook and
retweeted
Twitter.
it.
Oh, nice.
We're good.
Thanks
We're
for
good.
picking up the
Twitter.
slack. I've been up to
Anyway.
some stuff since I wasn't on last
have.
show. I did want to tell folks that like I performed major surgery on my 3D control
great.
pad, and
Oh, yeah, that's right.
and to great effect. I highly recommend it. Actually,
Successful surgery.
yeah, I was thinking about getting a new one just because I kind of, but throwing the baby out with the bathwater is not a great idea considering, so proverbially speaking, it's also really not a good idea, literally speaking. But
Speak for yourself, Dave.
but seriously, like the 3D control pad, with the little nub, it wears out over time. It kind of gets kind of drifty, or it's kind of like jiggles around in there because there's not enough tension from the spring. And
Yeah,
when
no,
you open
I'm used to that, Dan.
those
Dave, I know what you're
controllers,
talking about.
those controllers are easy to stop it, Pat. Stop it. Okay, those controllers are easy to open up and service. You can clean the PCB really easily. Everything's really easy except for the 3D analog portion itself. You can take it off the board, but I was always afraid to open it up. I was always afraid to like pull it apart because it
You don't
feels
wanna
like
break it.
it doesn't want. It feels like it doesn't want to come apart. So you're like, okay, I don't want to break this because I can't replace it. But I went for it because there was a guide online that kind of recommended like, okay, this is how you do it. So yeah, like I just kept pulling on the black, pad part, like the thumbstick, and it eventually it clicks off, like it comes off because it kind of like clicks into place.
Yeah.
So it comes off, and then you're able to pull the spring out and just apply like consistent tension, I guess, like pulling the spring so that you can get it longer, Pat. And so anyway, I'm sorry. I don't know how else to say that, but anyway,
No, it's fine. I'm used to pulling, pulling the springs, making them longer. I mean,
it just takes a couple. It just takes a
It takes a little couple of tugs
no
to get
pills,
the
no
springs.
pills necessary.
No pills needed, no enhancements, just all natural tugging, just tugging until you get it.
That's the way to do
Anyway,
it.
so you
Nice
stretch
and
the spring out, and then you put it back in, and it's nice. God damn it! It's nice and tight.
Dave's just trying. I promise I'll behave myself, Dave. You can say whatever you need to, and I won't make it a sex joke. I promise.
Well,
You shouldn't make promises you can't keep.
YouTube may not care. They're just like, oh, they're tough. So
Yeah, true.
So
no,
essentially,
It knows.
but I'm glad you got it working though. Like,
Well-
I saw your progress, and it was pretty awesome.
well, it wasn't even progress. It was like immediately. So like Dan, for example, Dan brought up a CRT and started playing on it, and immediately started having like better times, right? Well, I fixed this controller, and the next attempt that I did at Arcade 2 Lap, I was like a couple seconds faster, you know?
Wow.
And I was just like, okay, wow, that was making a huge difference because there was it kept drifting, you know, like when I'm starting a race and I'm accelerating, the controller, when it's just like floating there, it would kind of like make the car drift. And I don't know if you've noticed, but when you really get into the racing, you turn your hands sometimes, you know, subconsciously. And when I would do that, just the weight of the 3D analog stick would make it kind of drift to the left, you know? So having it serviced like that has made a huge difference. And I hope that other people will take that advice and maybe service their 3D control pads instead of just giving up on them, because it's worth it. Yeah, so
No, that's really cool though that you did that.
yeah, I was gonna share that last week, but then I wasn't on the show.
Yeah.
But yeah,
You should work on mine next. Mine's having some issues too.
well, if you,
I think you said it was.
I could, yeah, I could try to work on it when I come for the convention.
That works.
Did I say easy left maybe there? No, did I?
Is that actually what he's saying? Is
don't
left
think so.
maybe?
I had another pickup. I wanted to show you guys real quick. That was this little guy right here.
Is it what is
Oh
that?
yeah, that's cool.
This is the Alfa Romeo 155 V6 Ti, or Touring Internazionale. This
Nice
is
little model.
Yeah, and I think that who else? Somebody else like picked up one of these recently in the SHIRO challenge, and I forget who it was, but yeah. So I got this because like I ended up on top of the leaderboard, at least for now. Somebody's probably going to take me down, but I ended up on the top of the Arcade 2 Lap leaderboard, and it was by going with this car. Because before that I was going with the Opel, and I was just like, you know what, to commemorate this, I'm going to pick up a little model of this and stick it up on top of the CRT there. So I did. It's cute. I like it.
Yeah, it's cool.
I might want to get like a Delta Integrale, like the Lancia from
Of course.
Yeah. Those are
Rally.
expensive though. Like they have so much so much cachet, because of their pedigree, that it's like people charge extra for it just because of how popular it is.
I've looked for like what do they call, like the little Matchbox cars, little you know what I mean, little toy. Well, not,
Yeah, Matchboxes. Yeah.
Yeah.
this Matchbox. Okay. Well, so I've looked for those for like the Sega Rally cars, and there actually are ones for the Delta, but
Mini
it has a
GT.
different livery.
Oh,
Yeah, it has a different livery though. It
Really?
looks different.
Okay.
Yeah, and so I've been like kind of reticent to buy them. Like they're not that bad to like buy them on eBay or whatever. Because
here's
it's
a tip.
impossible to actually find one in a store because there's just there's a million of them that could be in a store.
I'll send you a link. There's a company called Mini GT that does like a full set of 4. You can buy them individually, or you can buy the whole rally set of 4, and they're not expensive. They're like 160. What is it? 168th scale or something. They're basically like the size of Matchbox cars.
Yeah, a little.
But they do have like the sport line. They do have like the Martini sport line livery.
Yeah.
So it's really awesome. And
that might be cool because like I have I've shown my figures off on stream before, but like I have a shelf that's just like figures that kind of go to games that were on Saturn, right? So I've got 3 Soccer Wars Kobus on there. I've got
that's awesome.
That little wind-up toy for Bug.
Yeah,
Nice.
When I bought Duke Nukem Forever on PC years ago, it came with like a little bust of Duke, like he's like a little statue, and it's like Duke Nukem 3D is on the Saturn, so I've got that on there.
That's awesome.
Got like figures of Kasumi and from Dead or Alive and Felicia. So like I think it would be cool to maybe get a couple of cars from these games. It's
it would
a
be
shame
rad.
that Sega never made like a little toy Hornet.
Right?
At least not that I've ever
It's
seen.
basically a Chevy Lumina.
On searches.
I've seen people do that. They'll get like a die-cast Chevy Lumina, and then they'll just paint it Hornet colors. You know, you could do like the yellow Hornet or the blue Hornet. Yeah, so that's what I was thinking about doing, is just kind of getting like a cheap model Lumina, because that's what it was based on, those 90s Chevy Luminas. And then,
Bunny
Bunny points out, I got the Saturn girl from like the Sega Hard Girls.
oh yeah, Sega Hard Girls.
And Cotton.
Doesn't Pat have a Hard Girl?
Huh?
Do you have a Hard Girl? One of the Hard
I
Girls.
thought you had a Sega Hard Girl.
I do have a Hard Girl. Yeah.
Oh, you do. Okay.
It's not an Android. It's like it's like a figurine.
Right.
Sigma.
Yes, it's the one
Sigma,
with the
Sigma.
That one's pretty awesome. I kind of am jealous. I wish I had picked that up when it was like.
And Nendoroid's so cute, though. I really like her. And she comes with her own little mini Saturn and like a little Saturn controller she holds. It's awesome.
Oh yeah, see, that's awesome.
There you go.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, it's like
He's on my PVM over there.
But yeah, I agree with you, Dan. Like that's exactly the train of thought that I was going for. Like, wouldn't it be great in the game case to have like the game and then have like something that symbolized the game,
toy or something.
Exactly.
Yeah, right.
And that's I'm glad I went with like 1/43 scale. It's not too big, because if you go too big and it's like you run out of space to do that kind of stuff. But
it's a handheld size thing. It's
exactly.
Not bad.
Yeah. So, and I feel bad because I didn't remember to bring this on stream, but Pubbers, who's a relatively new member in our Discord community from the UK.
Very British and a drummer.
British drummer, jazz drummer, I guess, but also like other genres and stuff like that. We talked to him, Pat and I talked to him the other day in community chat.
He played at Abbey Road.
He played at Abbey Road, or he got to play. He had the privilege of playing for like 2 hours or whatever, a session at Abbey Road. But anyway, he sent me a bunch of cool stuff. He sent me some touring car pamphlets.
He's in the chat. It's Akmal.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. That's Akmal. Okay, cool.
Hi.
I'm actually Pubbers. Okay, cool. Yeah. So he sent me some cool pamphlets, like they were like the Sega Saturn pamphlets that you would get in like game releases in the UK. And then he sent me some Sega touring car,
that was super nice.
Addendums from the UK version. So anyway, shouts. I really appreciate it. Yeah, those are awesome. So they went right into my copy of Sega touring car.
Nice.
Sorry, I don't mean to take. So what have you guys picked up, or we heard what you picked up, Dan. You got the oranges.
Sumo oranges.
What about Pat?
No, I have no interesting.
I picked up Almost Death on that mountain.
Almost Death. Okay.
Yeah, you picked up Almost Death.
You picked up a good story.
I did pick up a tax refund, but I can't talk about that on stream.
Nice.
Oh, right. Wait,
I put a pre-order in for that new Vanillaware game, Unicorn Overlord. It looks super cool. It's like a tactical RPG. Has that typical awesome Vanillaware artwork. I usually play on my Xbox, so I got the Xbox version. It'll probably run really well too. I was debating whether to get the super cool collector's edition, and I ended up going with it and spending the money. But I got I redeemed a bunch of points from credit cards and stuff for gift cards, so I cut the price in like half. It's a $130 collector's edition, by the way. It is no joke. It comes with like a 2 CD soundtrack, an art book, which art is like the big reason you get a Vanillaware game, so that's going to be cool. And then they made a whole deck building card game to go with it. It comes with this huge, like 200 some card deck building game, which is, I'm sure, a big part of that cost of that collector's edition. So I was just like, how many games come with their own card game? Like, that's wild. And they have like videos up teaching you how to play it.
Shadow of the Tusk, right?
Right.
Like,
yeah.
It's rare. Yeah, that's awesome.
So that reminds me.
Like,
I
got to get one of these, so I did it.
What, Pat?
Nice. That reminds me. I actually have to pick up some from Sega Steve. I completely forgot.
Oh, what's that?
You'll see. Okay. We've been in talks with it, so I'll get it and put it on the stream. But it's probably gonna be added to my currently in production Soccer Wars shrine I have.
Can I tell you guys a funny story real quick? An anecdote? No. Yes.
Go
No.
for it.
Before we
Keep
get into
going.
news,
I would
okay.
like to hear it, Dave.
So as I may have told you in an previous episode or previous week or whatever, I was playing Earthbound, right? And Pat, we were talking about how like Pat started playing it a while back, but he got stuck in the desert and whatnot.
Yeah.
Okay, so I worked my way through, and I'm actually pretty far in the game. Like I would say I'm about 2/3, maybe 3/4 of the way through. But here's the funny part. So you get this guy named Pooh, right? Or I named him Ninja, but basically he's the dude who comes along and he has like all these psi abilities and stuff, right? But he can only equip some very, very specific items, you know? He can only equip one weapon in the entire game, right? So, and it's this Sword of Kings or whatever, right? But it can only be found in the Starman headquarters, like the underground Starman headquarters, and it's a 1 out of 128 chance of a drop, you know? So basically you're down in this headquarters and you just have to grind and kill Starman Deluxe or whatever. You have to kill tons of these guys until finally someone drops this sword, right? And then you can arm him with it. And so the whole goal of getting this sword was like so that my party can be strong. You know, I was like, I wanted to give him this sword so that he would have some ability for physical attacks and stuff like that. But now we're like way OP just because I've been grinding.
Because of all the grinding.
All this grinding has put me at like level 75, and we're like way more powerful than we should be at this point. And I'm just like, man, I've been doing this for like 5 hours now. I still don't have this sword, and I kind of don't need it anymore. But
it's all about the experience. Dave.
It's all
Did you have fun grinding?
Like now,
getting the sword.
Well, yeah. So like now, I feel like I can't quit. I have to get this sword. But the whole the rest of the game is ruined for me because every boss is just going to go down in like 1 or 2 hits. So you know how that is. Have you ever had that experience where you kind of break an RPG by getting too powerful?
Yeah, that happened to me in Super Mario RPG. I grinded for got everyone to level 30. Yeah. Because I was having so many issues like fighting a certain boss. And they got everyone to 30 and the game was just like easy as hell. But to be fair, Super Mario RPG is kind of easy to begin with, so it's like.
Do you guys prefer kind of just like living on the edge of your seat and having every battle be like a nail biter where you almost die? Or do you prefer like going in and just laying waste to the enemies?
I play baby mode.
You play baby.
I just want to beat the game.
Waste,
you just want to go in and just like a couple hits and they're dead.
I mean, because you usually have had to do some work to get to that point anyway. It's not like you just, got it handed to you. So
well, my son, he's the kind who like he doesn't read any of the dialogue. He skips through all of the townspeople. He's just like, yeah, okay, moving on. He doesn't follow any guides or pick up any extra stuff. He just like goes through and he somehow survives. Like he just barely holds on, and he's just like, I don't know what you're talking about. This is easy. Just like you almost died. Yeah, but it's like he plays so careless when it comes to and actually he has started playing Earthbound because I was playing it, and he's almost caught up to me, funny enough, because of this stupid sword. Like I've been spending 5 hours trying to get this stupid sword, and he's almost caught up. Oh yeah, we're way past the desert.
Dang it.
We're way past the second desert.
Catch up.
So which desert are you talking about?
It's the first one after you get Jeff and you're in the desert.
Oh yeah, that's the first desert. Then you'll go to Scaraba, which is like across the ocean, and that's another that's like a more like Arabian desert versus like old Western desert.
I'm pretty bad at doing things.
Anyway, I'm finally getting around to like playing through Earthbound, and I'm really enjoying it.
That's good.
Yeah, so anyway.
Hey, real quick, so for anyone who is a Patreon subscriber of SHIRO or of our fellow SHIRO Pandemonium, Panda just put up his big video summarizing the SegaXtreme Saturn game competition just a little bit ago, and it's only available to Patreon subscribers of him or us. So if you are, then by all means check it out. And for everybody else, I think it'll be public in about a week or in a few days, something like that, about a week. So he put it up right before the show started, so I watched like 1 minute of it, but it's gonna be good because it's a Panda video. They're always awesome.
Absolutely.
Also, real quick, we are still doing just under a week left of the monthly challenge for Sega Touring Car Championship, which we will talk again about later in the show for a little bit. But it has been decided, but we're not announcing it yet, which game is going to be next month's community challenge.
That's right.
And we're expecting to announce what that'll be probably on Monday, unless we're still working out what exactly all the categories are going to be. Then maybe it'll be a day or two later, but it'll definitely be announced before March starts.
We need to put together some
fun.
kind of hype video or something. I need to put together some kind of hype clip or something for it.
Oh, well, that's your weekend objective.
But I have so many chores this weekend.
Well, I guess do it tonight after the show.
Yeah, right.
Dave, do it.
Okay. Well, anyway, I promise, folks, I will stop talking about Sega Touring Car. Maybe not, but I will try to stop talking about it after the end of this month. How's that?
Then we won't stop talking about next month's challenge, right? Because we'll all fall in love with that game.
Right. I hope so. I think so.
Yeah,
definitely.
I hope so too.
I think it has
a little bit.
It has that potential.
Cool.
It has the potential to be like another like instant classic. I know a lot of people will like it, so that's good.
What's about the Panda Tourney summary from 2020, 2021? I don't remember that one.
It was.
I think maybe he meant the game competition.
Oh yeah, I think it does. Yeah, it probably means the game competition summary. Yeah, from 2020.
Okay, yeah, I just want to make sure that. Yeah, I wasn't sure what he was talking about.
I have to say, Roberto Cristino, he said, adulthood sucks. I haven't had the time to play STCC yet and post my time. Well, stop making excuses. No, I'm just kidding.
Get off your ass.
No, you definitely. So here's the thing. Interestingly enough, Roberto, you're not alone, because neither has Pat. Pat still needs to put in his entry as well. So let's see who gets it done first.
Come on, you guys are throwing me under the bus on this one.
I'm gonna totally throw you under the bus.
Because you have like 6 days left to post. Sometimes you have to post
6
time.
days. That's a
super chat last week says.
Tell you what, just post anything. I honestly do like Dan did. Just pick up the game for a couple hours and just post whatever. Anyway, AT&T, we apologize for Thursday's outage. Nope, I didn't notice it, so whatever.
Oh yeah, no, we have Verizon because we're Giga Chads.
Yeah.
Nice.
Also, just put my payment in for the thing from Sega Steve. I may get it next week, maybe not.
Good news. Cool. Good news. Night has tested Night of Dragon. When I say Night, I assume everybody knows what I'm talking about. But anyway, Night of Dragon has tested all of the Netlink units. They're all good to go. They're packed up. I paid for the labels. Yay! I finally paid for the labels, and he's got them.
Some out.
So they'll be getting out to folks, hopefully here soon. And yeah, the rest is history. Once you guys receive them, just unbox it, and we'll try to help you get hooked up with everything, and
make sure to send a picture of you holding it with a soy jack face.
We'll be sure to take keen note of your public IP address, and then we'll hack you when you're not. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, like I said, just make sure to send soy Wojaks with you holding it. Like any soy Wojak will good. If you want to do the one, you can do that. Like just do whatever soy Wojak you want holding it, and like post it in the general Discord. So I can post it and send it to my friends, be like, here's all my fans, and they're going to make fun of me. It'd be funny. Seriously, they'll post it and let us know.
Yeah.
I want to see people enjoy it. And I want to post it and I'll post it on Twitter. You don't have to do the story Wojak, though. You don't have to.
And that's just the first 10, because we got, another...
Yes, we have another 10.
Many? 20 more? 10 more?
Not another 20. Yeah. So we've got 10 more to send after this. It's just we're trying not to bite off more than we can chew, basically. Yeah. What is Pat? I kind of ignored. I don't know what Pat said. I think I tuned it out. But Moose Track is like, oh Jesus.
No, I said about the soy Wojak. I said I'm going to post it on Twitter.
Okay. Yeah, so when Pat's being inappropriate, sometimes I just
it's not inappropriate. It's soy Wojak.
Oh, okay, that's true.
So it's the AVGN face.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay.
The face that makes me want to punch walls. But
well, we don't really have technically news, but we do have a couple of stories that Dave wrote this week, and we have a best of Saturn.
Well, wait a second. I consider the roundup to be somewhat news.
That's news.
Oh yeah, it is. It is news. Sorta. I mean, the competition and closed its entries, about a month ago. But we've been kind of slowly covering it since then. So this is the most comprehensive coverage that we've done of it so far is your roundup. So it was really good. And it looked like it was a ton of work, like I said to you online.
I actually could say that Dave's got the news. Doom, 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 doom.
But I can't. I'm trying. I'm trying to pull up the browser without having you guys disappear, but that's not working for me.
It wouldn't be the first time.
Yeah, for some reason, the browser's just being stupid. So where is it?
Shadow S wins the awards stream. It was going to be tomorrow on Saturday, but I guess Emerald Nova's a little delayed, so we don't know when the awards stream is going to be announcing the
March
winners.
7th, I think.
Is it? Did he say it was going to be March 7th now?
It's March something.
Yeah.
March something. Okay.
And that's good because I was working on my. Pat and Dan are deleted.
Weeks.
Oh, Dan's frozen. Hold on a second. Let me refresh. Here we go.
Dan got DO'd.
We good now?
That's fine.
He's still frozen.
No, he's still freaking frozen.
Unless he's stuck in that position.
No, he's definitely frozen. Hold on a second.
You look very depressed, Dan.
Dan does look depressed. Let me see. There we go. Just a refresh.
There we go. Dan's back.
Hey, I'm back.
Dan is back.
Man, I hate breaking the immersion, but now my computer's doing this thing again where it won't focus on. It's stupid Discord is what it is. It's stupid Discord. I cannot freaking. What the hell? I'm sorry. I'm gonna get irate.
Do we need to switch to Skype instead of Discord?
No, it's all good. It's okay. Yeah, it's okay.
Good old Skype.
No, actually, James was telling me like he's fed up with Discord. I don't know if he's still in the chat here. Probably not. But James from Sega Guys, he was telling me he's fed up with Discord because every time they do like any kind of recording or conversation, there's like still delay, and he always feels like he's stepping on people's toes. Whereas like with Zoom, it's actually pretty good. Zoom is pretty good. So
let's move over to Microsoft Teams and just have it not work at all. Trekkies,
right?
That'd be a great idea.
Yeah.
God, I hate Microsoft
But they
Teams.
use Zoom for their podcast recordings because they just still have too many issues with
Discord.
Well, they can't handle a little bit of me naked on there, but whatever.
Banana Dave is bananas. Okay, so let's go articles, not news. Wait, what? How far back do we go? You wrote that Slave Zero article.
Well, we covered that.
We talked about that last week.
But
you talked about it last
week, but I do have an update on it though. I ordered it that day for the Switch, and now it's currently not available. It's in my order shipped, and then it's going to be available April 26th. So
that's quite a delay.
A little bit, yeah. It's April 26th for the physical release of it. So hoping I can get that relatively soon. I would like no
kidding.
I would enjoy to play the game. I know I can download it on Switch, but kind of
Calamity Edition.
Let's go to Ventrilo. I'm with Trekkies. Let's go to Ventrilo.
Yeah, go into Vent, listen to some Bass Hunter. Be awesome.
Vi sitter här I Vantage, spelar lite Dota, buller späcker.
You guys did cover Death Crimson 2, yeah? I believe you did. Yeah, so cool. And then here's we'll go through the SegaXtreme game competition roundup.
Yes.
I guess you could say this should have gone. When were they finalized? I guess it was like end of January or February.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
okay.
End of January.
End of January. This should have gone up at the end of January, beginning of this month, basically. But that's how far behind I am. Maybe Sega Touring Car got in the way.
It's all Sega Touring Cars.
Because I can't say that I haven't spent a few hours playing that game. But here they are, needless to say, and we can run through them. For the 5th year in a row now, SegaXtreme and Emerald Nova bring us an outstanding lineup of Sega Saturn homebrew, patches, and tools from this amazing community, marking the 29th anniversary of the Sega Saturn console. Taking a breath here. And now the 5th anniversary of this game competition itself, which is amazing. Before digging right into this year's submissions, here's a look at the past 4 years of entries, showing just how much this community and this event have grown. 2019, the 25th anniversary of Saturn, you had, what is this, like 10 entries for original game? And then you had your hacks and translations, no tools. Moving on to 2020, the 26th anniversary of Saturn, it like doubled. Like the original games like doubled, and you had more hacks and translations. Not any tools yet.
I like how a lot of them are VBT.
Oh yeah. A lot of them are VBT.
3 of them.
Oh yeah, 3 of them right here. VBT. One is just called test. But I love it. It counts. It does. 2021 was the 27th anniversary of Saturn, and we celebrated with, let's see that. It's about, it's definitely bigger. A lot more entries.
Started getting some tools.
And we got like a ton of tools. Yeah, it was like you had Cafe Alpha's Savory, Night of Dragons, Saturn Save Converter. Oh, the Save Converter. Okay. The Patcher, Ponut's Pona Sound, which has ended up getting used in like, it's ended up used in a lot of homebrew. Super Ray's 3D model converter. And then of course,
a big year for tools.
Last year, I would say it was about the same size in terms of original games released. But again, tons of hacks and translations last year, and then more tools. Like the Film Muxer from Trekkies and the NetBand solution from Joe, and upgraded version of Pona Sound and Netlink OS from Knight. And then you also had the Ervil Soft's QR save transfer, which was really, really awesome.
That's a useful one. Yeah.
These previous efforts have inspired a growing number of people to join the Saturn development community and have helped create numerous tools and a knowledge base that has lowered the barrier of entry to Saturn development. Below are this year's entries in alphabetical order by name of each participant. For a detailed breakdown of the contest rules and judges and criteria, check out Emerald's game competition page. For original game category, we have, of course, 7 Shades with CubeCat 1.0.3. And this has been entered previously in 2020 and 2021. He skipped last year to really kind of work on the game. And this represents a huge, I guess you could say, like,
a huge step forward. On
the surface, people might not understand what a big difference this is, but he completely switched to his own rendering pipeline. So, and I mean, I do think that he had help, based on some of the stuff that XL2 had done. But essentially, like, he's rendering everything himself now, and using SGL very little, if at all, in certain areas, So, you also have new game mechanics like a dash pounce. In addition to the standard double jump, and you can now aim in midair and dash in a certain direction. Yarn now spawns from a portal, and you can discover on the map, and touching that portal respawns the yarn to that location. There's a bunch of other improvements. Excellent submission. Folks should definitely go play it, check it out. If they've slept on CubeCat, definitely give it a try. It's probably one of the best controlling 3D platformers on Saturn, and I'm not just talking about homebrew. I'm talking about like on Saturn.
Yeah, no, it's pretty awesome. Like, I really enjoy it. Like, I played this year a little bit, and like, I really think it's really coming into its own in terms of gameplay. Like, it's like just a lot.
Thanks for those pennies, Wiener Bob.
Oh yeah, thank you, Wiener Bob, for the sticker. 9 more Pat pennies. Thank you.
More Pat pennies.
That puts me at 198 to like
to 50 for each of us.
50,
Seven Shades was streaming himself developing the latest edition of CubeCat last month, and I was watching that for a little while. That was interesting. He was kind of like trying to adjust his one of his levels. We were sort of like jumping up a tree to kind of like make it a little easier to jump up the branches, kind of like lowered them a little bit or change the geometry. And it was wild just watching him just like switch over to, I think it was Blender, and just in real time change the geometry a little bit, and then kind of recompile it and try it out in the game. And he's like, okay, yeah, that's better. Like, that was cool. That was really cool.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, like, I just really appreciate, I do really appreciate the amount of time and effort that he's put into that, and the fact that he's like continuing to work on it too, so it's great. I know that the vision is for it to be like even better, so dude's kind of a perfectionist. Yeah, it is insane, Let me see. You guys talked about AM25 Sonic Boss demo last week. I listened to your guys' discussion.
Shadow Mask wrote.
You covered
that is right. Yeah, so
these.
Shadow Mask actually wrote a really nice roundup article last week that kind of just touched on a selection of games, and so I didn't attempt to kind of redo what he did. This is really just more of like a directory, so that we could kind of address each one and give it a little bit of its time in the sun. But go check out that article that Shadow did. It's amazing. And
Fun game.
And he's a good writer too. Like I appreciated the writing that he did.
He's done a couple
like to see,
now for SHIRO.
Yeah, definitely. I think the thing that sticks out the most is this was like not a jam, but it was a 24-hour effort, right? They basically threw this together in 24 hours, and actually that's pretty remarkable considering that it's on the Saturn and everything they had to
3D.
3D.
It's got some sound.
There's no collision. I don't believe there's any collision, right? But you do have some like lighting effects going on with the
aside
with
from
the boss.
Sonic running on the ground,
right?
It's not the only collision happening.
But that's really rad. So shouts and kudos to AM25, who's actually here in the YouTube chat with us. Cobra Dial gives us a port of Telelocation Gemini, which was originally like a N64
game,
and then porting it over to the Saturn.
Damn, that's another furry onto the game competition stack.
Mm-hmm. It is kind of a work in progress. You can tell there's a lot more that you can do with it, but definitely it's a good place to start. The Saturn port does have enhanced versions of the original N64 tracks by original composer, making use of the CD audio. So it has that going for it. So that's cool. And shouts to
Shadow Jackal for working
Cobra
on
Dial
the,
and Lambert James SD, and who else for the graphics, and then music was JTN 191. Cafe Alpha of Pseudo Kai fame gives us a game called Jackie Car. You guys talked about this one too, right?
I thought it was, at first I misread. I thought it said Janky Car.
Janky Car. Well, you know what? You're not wrong. It's a little like, it doesn't, the car doesn't like, it just kind of like goes like that. It's very simple, right? I believe he compared it to Pong in his little description. He was like simple graphics like Pong.
Yeah, just like a randomly generated little like path that sort of moves back and forth, and you gotta keep your car in it, just like a 2D infinite scrolling type of thing. And then the score goes up if you stay in there, and it goes down if you go outside the lines. But I mean, it's still cool,
Cool.
It's a port of a TI-89 game, or no? It's adapted by
from
TI-89 game, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah, exactly.
So it was kind of fun. I liked it.
Ervilsoft gave us the Pico 8 emulator. I don't know if you guys were prior.
This one was cool. I like this.
Are you guys familiar with the Pico 8 console? Like before this?
No, I'm not.
It's like a fake console, right? It's like a console that someone made up just like in theory.
It is a fantasy console that some folks are trying really hard to make it a physical console, like because it's got such a huge software library. Here's the thing about Pico 8. It's actually it's a really cool way to have kids learn how to program. I did actually buy the entire copy of Pico 8 and the development SDK because I got it for Jesse so that he could kind of put some code together. It's actually a really good way to teach him coding and have stuff pop up on screen like immediately in response to like the stuff that he puts up, and you can create these cool little games. It does take, there are some games out there that are like ludicrously more powerful than anything that would have been possible on an 8-bit computer. And so, it recommends that you have like a 700 megahertz CPU. So trying to put that on Saturn is amazing that he was even able to do that. And some of these games actually run pretty good. So yeah, I'm definitely impressed by that.
And it's a nice looking UI too for like the menu.
Mm-hmm.
It's the first port of Metal Gear Solid too.
Yeah. Oh yes, right. The first port of Metal Gear Solid. Nice. Yeah, that's in there. I kind of had hoped that he was able to put the Virtua Racer port in there, but I think that it was just too it would have been too demanding on the system. Somebody did a VR Virtua Racing port to Pico 8 that you should definitely check out, and then you can run it in your browser. If you literally just look up Virtua Racing Pico 8, you'll find it, and you can just run it in your browser, and it's super fun. But unfortunately, I don't think he was able. He did check, but I don't think he was able to get it running on Saturn. Just because of the demands of the thing. This one I think is kind of a highlight of the year's show. Is an original game called Cold Case by Jay Beretta. Puts you into this Silent Hill-esque kind of, well, Pat wrote an article on it actually, and I kind of copied what Pat wrote.
An article of it? I thought I did a video.
You did write an article a ways back.
I did?
Yeah, when you did like a playthrough of it.
We remember.
Oh, that's right.
You know.
Oh, that's right. I did write an article about that.
And it's definitely it definitely channels kind of like Stranger Things with like the whole upside down kind of thing. You you have like this alternate universe on the other side of the mirror going on. Some of the architecture looks really cool when you're running on Saturn. I really have to say, like, if he's listening, and I hope he is, that he continues working on this and that we see this again like next year, and more fleshed out, because like what he has here already is just awesome. I struggled in my playthrough at certain points to get, like, especially when you're in that tower and you gotta like you keep dropping to the bottom, that's where I struggled the most. But I didn't have a hard time having enough ammo to kill things. I thought everything else was just pretty balanced, so it was good. Yeah. What did you think, Dan? Did you play through this?
Yeah, I did. I thought it was really cool. It's, it is, it does look really good on the Saturn. Like, I always appreciate when a Saturn game has like a world that you can just sort of like walk around in freestyle. I feel like there aren't a ton of Saturn games that do that. I mean, there are a lot when you look at it, just on a macro level, but it's like, it seems like it has fewer to me than other consoles. So like, it's cool that he's Jay Beretta is attempting that with Cold Case. You can just kind of like, you can walk around your apartment, you leave your apartment, you can go down city streets and go up the tower and stuff like that. Like, that's cool. So I hope that he keeps up with it too.
I know this isn't saying much, but it's better than The Crow. I mean, and it's not even a complete game, and it's already better than The Crow. So there you go. I'll give him that.
Crow's debatably completed. So
I mean, I hope that doesn't end up being kind of like a backhanded, compliment or whatever. I actually mean it. Like, it's better than a retail game.
I guess we could say it's better than an actual retail game that released. So.
Yeah, that's what I meant. That's what I meant.
Something.
Like, I would rather play this than The Crow. Nando, what do they go by? Haas Machine or whatever
Haas Machina.
Haas Machina. Yeah. Nando gave us Pixel Poppy Pong. It is. What is it German for?
Machine, Hate Machine.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Oh, right.
It's a reference to the Nine Inch Nails album, Pretty Hate Machine.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, so yeah, we talked about this one before on the Netlink edition of SHIRO Show. But yeah, just to reiterate, it's a lot of fun. I definitely need to play. I need to get Jesse in here and play against a human, though, because I spent all my time playing against the AI, and Bunny, everybody says it's more fun if you're just playing against another human. So
yeah, definitely.
Not AI generated. Gave us Wordle. Saturn Wordle. It is Saturn Wordle. It plays like Saturn Wordle. I was actually able to test it out with the keyboard that I just got from Sega Steve. So shouts, Steve. Shouts to Not AI Generated for doing this bare metal.
Shouts out.
Bare metal Saturn coding in assembly. Unfortunately, anybody without a keyboard can't play it. It only recognizes a keyboard
exclusive.
Keyboard exclusive. So if you want to shell out, like, I don't know, $70 to $90 for a keyboard, I think it's worth it. Personally, I got a keyboard and I didn't just get it for this. Like, it's nice to have it typing, but I mean, not everybody's going to use that. So we'll see. I wish there was like typing of the Dead for Saturn or whatever, but
that'd be a cool mod.
There's a homebrew that somebody could potentially make.
Yeah.
Is like typing of the Dead
next year's contest.
Mod the
maybe that's going to be Not AI Generated next year.
Yeah. Pona of course, Slide Hop, previously Pony Game. I was talking to Pat about this, so I felt like this still has the DNA of Pony Game, but Pat's like, oh, but it's definitely a different thing. Like, it's definitely a different game.
Yeah, because there's actually more reasonable objectives. There's more like, you know,
it's more of a game.
On how to play.
Right.
It feels more fleshed out to me.
Right. There's more of a
there's
more of an aim.
Area is good.
This is true. There's an aim now, and there's a lot more going on in the game. Before, what we had was like we had the foundation of it in the form of like the kind of like an archaic form of the physics engine, right? But it's continued to be refined, and it feels really good. Some folks have compared it to like Tony Hawk, you know, which I definitely agree. Yeah. What do you guys think?
Fly now? Could you fly in Pony Game? Was there flying? I don't remember there being.
There might have been like a build.
Not floating,
there was like gliding, yeah. But with this, it's like if you get up enough speed, you can like full on fly for certain segments, and there's high jumps. Cool. There's like all sorts of. There's sliding and hopping. It's good. Yeah, I actually
slide hop.
It is a lot of fun to just kind of mess around in this 3D playground. And that was always true of Pony Game, but it's even more so now. And now you have actually goals and objectives, so that's cool.
And you know, I guess this is another one where it's a great big 3D environment you can just, you know, freely move around in. So, and it's several environments. It's not just one. He's got a bunch of different levels in this thing already. So yeah, it's cool. Slide Hop.
Another game I would definitely rather play than The Crow. And actually, more. There are probably other games I would like to play this more than on the Saturn. You know, so
I definitely know which game I'd rather play than. This
Mr. Bones?
Another one.
Oh, okay, Bones. Yeah. Pat would rather play everything on this list. Shut up, Pat. I swear. Do you have to? Okay, so
I have to hate. I'm a pretty hate machine. What can I say?
Sansigolo, aka Neuromage Studio, gives us Red Moon Lost Days. This is actually it. I think finally.
I mean, we've
had like demos of this and stuff, but now, and I'm not sure. I'm not gonna go back and check, but anyway, I don't know if he released this in a previous year, like as a demo or whatever, but this is it. This is the full.
I think he did.
Did he? I'm looking at the competition here. I know he did Bodokaiba, City Bodokaiba.
Maybe I'm thinking of the prequel. Yeah.
I think what maybe happened is like we got it during the middle of the year. Oh nope, you're right. Look, back in 2021, he released it as a demo. So this was released in 2021 as a demo. And now this is like the full-blown release, and it is notable for being the first commercially published homebrew game for the Saturn. And I spelled Saturn wrong. I spelled it Saturn. So there, I win.
You sure did.
I win. Okay.
I'll edit that real quick. There's also no period at the end of your sentence.
Oh, there is no period. Wow, you can really tell. Okay, so wow. All right.
I'll fix it. I get it. I'm working on it. Keep going.
Dan's editing as we speak. So picking up speed. So picking up speed. Slinga who's renowned and famed for giving us these like multiplayer experiences. Even it's in his little picture there, 1 to 12 players. He brings us Sweeper Squad, which is the Minesweeper clone that runs at 480i and includes mouse support. It requires 2 6-player adapters for the full 12 support. The mouse touch is nice, though he even mentions that the cursor moves a little slow. The game itself is a lot of fun, and I haven't personally tested it out with more than 2 people. But I imagine that with 12 people, it's probably chaos. But it was like fun chaos, I imagine.
Sounds like a Game on Expo idea.
Right? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, like with all the games that he's done, with all the 12-player games that he's done, I almost see like a future PRGE corner where it's just like featuring all of his multiplayer games. Yeah, we could have like a tournament.
Playing the Minesweeper reminded me of how bad, or Sweeper Squad reminded me of how bad I was at Minesweeper and still is.
How bad you are just in general at Minesweeper.
I am the worst at Minesweeper.
Super Ray gives us Utenya. How do I say that? Utenya?
You said that. Utenya. Nya, like the cat. Nya.
Utenya. Oh, Utenya, which is a little.
Playing this earlier this week with Bunny. Actually, we were playing this together.
Cute game,
it was fun.
Fun game. Definitely better to play with someone else again.
Well, there's no AI in this one.
There's no AI. Yeah.
The Pong game, the kitty Pixel Poppy Pong.
Oh yeah, and
Pixel
you know what?
Poppy Pong has AI.
I was thinking of Tank Game.
Utenia does not.
I was thinking of Tank Game, which I kind of feel like this is the successor to Tank Game in a way. Like it's definitely there's that DNA I can sense there, but this is of course like much more refined. Little multiplayer tank smashing game about cat girls riding on tanks. Your basic weapon is a main cannon.
Who could ask for more?
Who could ask for more? Your secondary weapon is a mine, which can be obtained from crates that sometimes drop from the sky. This game was written in the latest version of C++ and uses Joe Engine. So that's awesome. Sorry, I do not know how to make AI, Ray
it's okay,
says.
Ray. The game's a lot of fun.
That's
Honestly, I kind of want to play Dave at Game On Expo.
Definitely.
I forgot to mention, we actually got CRTs that I'm bringing in there for Adam for this Pluto, so we'll be able to have some place to set up games at.
So wait,
Bunny and I had fun playing this.
Did Tank Game not have AI either? I thought that it did. I thought that maybe I'm just misremembering. It's been a while since I've played Tank Game. Honestly. Tank Game didn't. Okay. Yeah, so I imagine it would. Yeah. Maybe there's somebody in the community who can help with that. Help Ray with that. Like get some AI in here. I don't know. Like. But yeah, so
Bunny calling out Dan in the chat.
Well, wait a second. So Haas Machine, they've got some AI, some simple AI in Pixel Poppy Pong. So maybe who knows? Although it's pretty simple, it just goes back and forth.
Games on me. Bunny won a couple games on me playing this, and there's several levels you can try out. And they're all a little different. They got some barriers you can kind of hide behind and duck out from, and you can adjust how much times in each round, so you can kind of customize a little bit. And after a bit of time, crates fall from the sky with different items. There's like mines, and some of them will give you health back. Like there was one where I was like kind of on the ropes. This one time I had like 1 or 2 hit points left, and then I went over and grabbed a crate, and it gave me like full health. I'm like, I'm back in business. So
nice.
Yeah, it's a cool game. Good job, Ray.
Yeah, very good. And of course, like the aesthetic is always top notch.
Yeah, and Ray also put out a map editor, so you can make your own maps. So that's cool too. It's on GitHub.
Yeah.
Maps, they don't know you like I know you. Maps, they don't know you like I know you. But no, I really like the Ray's stuff. Sorry, I've been playing a lot of Rock Band recently.
Okay. Trekkies, our resident like expert on all things video compression, gives us the Cinepack demo reel, which really is, I feel like a pitch for Cinepack, as a format. And it's like, if only folks back then would have been able to see this demo reel, right? So that they could see like what actually is possible. I've talked to Trekkies a couple times, and I think that what it just came down to is folks were just kind of using the default settings, and they just had no idea. Like they just didn't even bother.
Yeah, no cares in the world.
They really didn't bother, and it's not that hard. Well, I shouldn't say it's not that hard, because see, this demo reel I think represents like years of like research into this stuff that Trekkies has done. But basically, he said it's not that big of a deal to like get some decent quality results with Cinepack, and that some of the stuff that made it into games, he just doesn't even know how they managed to just botch it so badly. Like they just weren't even trying, basically read the manual is what he said. Read the manual. But yeah, so this I highly recommend folks check out this demo reel. What you will find is PlayStation quality video for much of it. You will find video compression that's very much akin to what you would have seen on the PlayStation.
And some good videos.
And so back in the day, it's one of those things that Game Press would harp on over and over again. Oh, the Saturn FMV doesn't look as good, or it looks grainy or crunchy or whatever.
I call BS.
But yeah, it's possible, and you don't really need magic. You can use the tools that were available. One thing that he did do later on in the tool section is give us a better muxer now that doesn't even. Oh no, wait. He did go on record saying that you still need that archaic Mac environment, right, to use it.
Yes.
But it has a bunch of. It has new bells and whistles and stuff like that, so that's cool. Folks can mess around with this stuff, and yeah. So thanks to Malenko, for $2.
Malenko, $2.
Been a while,
been a while, eh?
He's
it's never been long enough.
never been long.
But no, the thing I found the funniest about is that I was actually checking out the contest last night to test them out to talk about today, and I was watching Star Trek Deep Space Nine in the left hand side of my screen, and all of a sudden one of the videos that popped up was the video in Star Trek: The Next Generation where
nice.
stuck in the time loop.
Right.
Nice. So that's what I thought was really funny. I was like, oh, okay, I guess and I filmed it, and it's in like the it's like in the patches
Star
section.
Treks.
Yeah, so I'm watching both the best Treks in a row.
And
I feel like the kids that are like doing the TikToks, like the multiple stuff going on.
Yeah, Trekkie's Muxer now supports ADX and audio extraction. That's what's new about it. But anyway, VBT gave us an updated port of Reminiscent. Well, so he gave us Flashback with better assets, like higher quality assets. And at first I didn't know what to make of this port. I want to go on record saying like I was a little confused about it because I remembered from years back somebody in SegaXtreme had ported the DOS PC version of Flashback to the Saturn, and it ran pretty well. And I think Saturn Lad Sega Saturn
Modern Lad,
Retro Dad, Modern Lad did an up like a video on it and everything, and folks were like selling repros of this on Facebook and stuff.
Of course.
Subsequently, they upgraded the Reminiscence engine so that it was compatible with the higher quality assets. And so essentially you'd get the Amiga mod music files and the Mega CD speech files, and you'd get full motion video cutscenes and higher resolution Macintosh backgrounds added to the engine. So VBT comes in and he's like, okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and port this upgraded version to the Saturn. And so it's still a work in progress because I think that it needs to be optimized. Knight was kind of explaining that it's done, but it just hasn't been optimized yet. So if you play it, you'll notice that, some of the cutscenes are a little choppy and the frame rate is pretty low in gameplay. But what I think we can appreciate about it is just that, once he's optimizes it, it'll just basically be the best version of Flashback running on Saturn.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thank you to Malenko
cool.
for another $2.
Yes. Thank you, Malenko, for the $2 reduce.
And I hope I explained that. I hope I explained that kind of well.
Said 31 thumbs up, but 55 watching. We can do better.
Yeah. I think Dave and I think you and Dave are winning now, in terms of the Dave and Dan dollars to Pat pennies.
Yeah. VBT also gave us a VBT Touring Truck Championship. The second tongue-in-cheek entry, I guess, is a reference to Sega Touring Car Championship. The game drops you into a truck and you drive straight. And then you come to the section of the track where you just pretty much drive straight.
It's like the opposite of NASCAR. Instead of turning, you're going straight.
You're just going to go straight. But the truck selection is cute. It makes nods to SegaXtreme members like Pinchy, El Piratero, Cafe Alpha, Indidi, and Emperor Coconut. So I thought that was cool. Thanks, Wiener Bob, for another 99 pennies.
Looks like I'm back on top now, I think.
Nice.
Pat's on top.
I'm always on top.
Z-Team gave us Maria Renard's Revenge, and Pat, you did a playthrough of this, and I actually, at first I wasn't sure because it did the gray color thing. I think you have to unpause it or something. I can't remember.
Start.
You have to hit start.
Switch the color.
Yeah,
but
start turns on the game.
I was able to get through it, and I actually enjoyed it quite a bit. So this is a port of the Commodore Amiga CD32 version of the same game. So
it's a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. It's tough as nails though. If you die once, you're dead. You have to start all the way from the beginning. It's no forgiveness.
So I'm hoping that it's not just kind of beggars can't be choosers, but I'm just hoping that maybe they finish it, finish making it run perfectly on Saturn. I'm not banking on that because I realize that they may have just wanted to enter it into the contest, which is totally fine.
Just to show they
Nobody's obligated. No one's obligated to do this, but if they do, that would be great because then it would be a really killer homebrew title on Saturn as well. So that would be rad. Hacks, patches, and translations. I got to pick up speed here to get through it all. Jack gave us JB Harold's Blue Chicago Blues, an awesome hard-boiled detective full motion video game. I think folks should definitely check it out.
Another $3, $2.99, $2.99 for the Danthrax.
Oh God!
Oh,
okay,
thanks, Malenko. No, I'm winning.
Shouts to Jack
though, so we got some evenness.
We've talked about Blue Chicago Blues a bunch on the show over the months, ever since he announced it. But if you guys haven't heard about it or been sleeping on it, definitely go check it out. It's a fun FMV game. It's definitely one of the good ones. Bo Bales, of course, a reverse engineer extraordinaire, gave us 2 patches, Sonic 3D Oops All Special Stages, which you guys talked about, and the Sonic Jam Tails World. So you can play as Tails, and you can play all the Sonic team levels, those special levels back to back, which is a lot of fun. Now, if only he could figure out how to like put those 2 together and make like a full game.
That'd be good.
Just hack it all together.
I was actually playing with the Tails World a little bit last night, just having fun.
Oh yeah.
Check out all the music. Like I was playing all the Michael Jackson stuff from Sonic and Sonic 3, so that was kind of fun.
Right.
Nice.
Yeah. Christoph F gave us Dungeon Master Nexus. That was within this past year.
Yeah, that game is
translated.
tough as nails.
Translated. It is tough as nails. Like, it's not for the faint of heart. Is Paul in the chat? Paul Bort? I know he's a huge fan.
Yeah, he's the master of that game.
He's the master of the dungeon. He's the Dungeon Master Nexus. But yeah, this was translated to both English and French. Not to mention, he also gave us a tool for folks who might want to translate it into their own native tongue. So that's really rad. Fafling Fix Doom. It's a patch for the original Japanese version of Sega Saturn Doom. Adds the unused Inferno Sky and the Nightmare difficulty, now available in the main menu with the other difficulty levels, and saved in the password as well. It also features sound fixes to the stereo audio, pan and pitch, and increased range and volume for sound effects. Adds in the PlayStation menu music with automatic exit to title after 30 seconds disactivated, so that you can kind of listen to the track without having to keep going back into the menu. But so that's cool.
It add E1M1 to the first level. So
he said that it's still he said that there's a small improvement in performance, though the game still suffers from a low frame rate. So I'm not exactly sure what that small improvement in performance is, like what tweaks he made,
what he did.
Yeah,
but,
I can't tell, but I mean, the stuff he changed was pretty nice. It was cool playing a Nightmare and get my ass handed to me.
Nice. Okay. Of course, Night of Dragon finished Shadows of the Tusk. It's 99% complete, but he said that really all that's left is like a few little things like spelling and grammar and stuff like that. But for the most part, it's basically complete, and it came with the Netlink OS, which allows folks to connect via modem, Kronos emulator. They can
He like kind of tweaked the Kronos emulator, so you have to use the version of Kronos that comes with this patch.
It's a modified version of the emulator. That's right.
Yeah, you can't just use any old version of Kronos.
But he did also he added in serial connection support for like future, like looking forward, basically.
Future installments.
I believe that it's like you initiate at the beginning. There's like an initiation screen that'll be like you playing without a modem, with a Netlink, with an X-Band, with a serial connection, or like, I think there's like an emulator option as well. But anyway, that's really cool. So yeah, I mean, obviously, like the idea being that hopefully this will be like a one solution to rule them all, and make it so that folks can play cross. What is that called? Cross-platform, basically.
Cross-platform is a good thing.
At least that's the hope. Like, I think that's the goal. Private Eye gave us a Radiant Silvergun text removal, which basically removes the flashing start button and please wait from the game. And it is arguably, depending on who you ask, an improvement of the experience. I don't know. Like, I don't personally, it doesn't make any difference to me, but I appreciate that it's an option and that it's out there. What do you guys think? Does that
honestly? It's good if you want to use the pry fun, so there's no like start button flash.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
A solid screen, so
it's
kind of weirdly dumb, but like I mean, if you don't have the pause module.
Yeah, like even Sega Touring Car has this thing where if you pause it, you get the menu on there, but if you press XYZ, it takes all the graphics off so that folks in the press could like take clean screenshots.
Yeah,
I imagine that would be great for this, is like taking beautiful screenshots of the game. So there you go.
Yeah.
I need to add that to the article. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, Rasputin 3000.
Rasputin, leader of the Russian. Sorry. Every time I see the name, I think that.
Is that right? So what else do you think, Pat? No,
I think this game is good.
This game is good. Arguably, it's hard, but it is good. Silhouette Mirage, great game. Treasure. It's probably one of their harder games on the Saturn. Definitely got a lot going on, but it's a good game. And now we have it in English with the story and everything, so that's awesome.
PS1.
And isn't Rasputin also heading up our community challenge? Gregory, right? Same dude?
Yeah, he's part
is it Gregory?
He's part of the committee.
Is it not? Yeah,
I didn't know that
Gregory Rasputin.
I didn't know it was that Rasputin. I thought there were two different people.
Oh yeah,
Am I dumb?
I was
You're like Superman.
Well, I'm not going to say it. But no.
All right, everyone, say you're dumb in chat. If I'm, just say I'm dumb in chat.
Anyway,
it's okay.
Patrick's really
same
dumb.
dude.
I did not know that.
Same dude working overtime, doing a bunch of cool stuff.
I don't
appreciate him.
I don't feel bad about him kicking my ass. Then
there you go.
All good.
There you go.
We're all Gucci in the hoochie.
Oh yeah, not to mention that. Yeah, he's doing great in the online tournaments too. Recap. So, Shining the Holy Ark hard mode patch. Now, as if Shining the Holy Ark wasn't hard enough, but I imagine that for somebody like Ricapso who plays it so much, it probably is easy. He gives us this hard mode hack that not only ramps up the game's difficulty, but it also makes use of unused. It makes unused items obtainable. It changes treasure in shops and changes some monster spawns and drops. It fixes some minor bugs, unlocks sound test, and unlocks shortcuts on the world map, adding one as well. It also allows monsters to have different stats depending on the area that they're found in. This mod is mainly for people who played the game before, love the game, and want a different experience playing. And Dragons of Saturn said the best version is very hard. So yeah, I mean, definitely. And I want to shout Ricapso as well, because he also helped us with that challenge. What was it back on Halloween, creating the mansion save, the Halloween, making it so folks could just jump right into the game at the haunted mansion, So he's kind of the guy when it comes to Shining the Holy Ark. This is his game. So yeah, nice. Shouts and that's awesome. ROS gave us Sega Rally X Project or SRX Project.
Rings of Saturn.
Is that what it is? ROS is Rings of Saturn?
Rings of Saturn.
See, I didn't even know that.
Yep.
Well, there you go.
Yep.
This is a hack to Sega Rally that changes some textures, adjusts the stages for different times of day and color palettes. Another excuse to play Sega Rally again, which is never a bad thing. Check it out. You get there's some like different textures on the cars and stuff like that, and the clouds are like yellow. It's interesting. So definitely check it out.
SegaXtreme stuff, like they changed one of the cars to be I forget which one it was. I think it's the one, not the main one, the secondary one has the SegaXtreme on it and stuff like that. Delta, yeah, has SegaXtreme.
The Delta, sir, is not the secondary car of Sega Rally. It is the primary car for me. How dare you?
It's the Winnie Junior of cars.
Brother.
Okay, so Sansegolo again with this time Sakura Wars translated into Portuguese. So
this one is awesome. I really like this one a lot.
That's very impressive.
Hella underrated. Like the things that I love foreign translations, just because of how cool it is that more people can play the game that don't speak English or Japanese, which I appreciate. It's cool. Like, it's cool to be able to have accessibility. I'm a fan of accessibility.
And I mean,
I'm a
Sakura Wars is one of the best games on the Saturn. And, it's also a big game to be translating. So I can't imagine how long it must have taken Sansegolo to pull this off. It's really impressive.
Yeah, definitely.
This one's definitely ranking high. Like, I'll spoiler, I'm ranking it high on my thing just because I think it's an amazing game. I think it's great that we have that. I love that options. And
Yeah,
speaking of high rating game, we have another one next that's going to get pretty high rated after this, but we'll finish talking about this one.
Before, I just want to say, yeah, since there are so many Portuguese Saturn fans, I mean, it did so well over there. It's nice that they can now play this game in their native tongue.
Yeah,
and
it's
you know, big game, big Saturn market. It makes sense. So shouts to Sensigola for making that possible. I'm
also biased because I'm part Portuguese, so maybe that's why I like it a lot too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
and I'm sorry. It's Rika PSO. I guess I said the name wrong. Rika PSO, and they are awesome. So shouts. I stand corrected on that. Stellar Assault English Localization Team. Who is
that
this?
One's ranking
what
hella
team
high.
is this?
Stellar Assault.
Stellar Assault. What is this game?
Stellar Ass.
So basic. Stellar Ass.
That's me when I'm walking behind Dan.
Just another one of those space games.
It's one of these games. It's one of these games where this team of crazy folks got together and just completely, dubbed English for this game and did an amazing job. And it's probably better than a lot of like professional studio. I mean, I'm not being
we're lucky we got a bunch of great actors who volunteered to lend their voices. They all did an awesome job. And of course, Lacquer did a great job with translating all of this. He had to transcribe it by ear. There's no script to this game. He had to listen to all of the sound files and just figure out what they were saying. And then he was the vocal director on everybody with every session.
And Shadow did a lot of Shadow handled a lot of the audio on this, I guess. Right?
Yes, and Shadowmass did a ton of work on mastering all the audio and getting it into the game and making it sound good. So
it sounds so good. Yeah,
a ton of work from both of them.
Wasn't there another person in the community that did a voice? I forgot who it was.
Did Rowan Dinked?
Rowan Dinked.
That's Rowan Dinked did.
Yeah, he did.
That's what lines. Yeah. Thank you, Rowan.
So I mean, it's an amazing game as it is. It always was. I always wanted folks to play it and check it out because I definitely feel like it was one of those awesome games that not a lot of people talked about. And now that this, patch has come out, I really think that it's put it on a stage that it deserves. Like more people need to be playing it and talking about it. It's an excellent Saturn game and it's an excellent localization.
Dave, did you copy and paste my copy from the SegaXtreme thread for this?
I may have. Are you gonna? I was in a hurry. Wait,
I guess so.
As
it's
with
talking about how Lacquerware isn't done translating it, and we're looking for volunteers. Like this.
Oh God!
We gotta change this paragraph on the
website. I'll edit it. I'll edit it. I'm not. It's a work in progress. This article.
Apparently,
but
I'm looking at it. I'm like, wait a sec. This looks familiar.
So sometimes I needed a placeholder, and I forgot. I guess I forgot that I forgot to write a full paragraph on that. So yeah, Devil Summoner, Soul Hackers, English translation.
This one is hype.
This one is definitely hype. It's still very much a work in progress, though.
This
and
one's
Trekkies
also
goes on record saying
because I am a biased MF.
Well, it's a really cool game. Definitely a great game. One that folks should play on the 3DS if they can, or now they can play it on the Saturn because we have it in English. Now I'm trying to think here. The text of the 3DS. So there were definitely some hurdles to jump through when it comes to like the way that Atlas stored data. And I guess that created some obstacles for Trekkies that he mentions in the description.
Okay.
No, you've been caught on the JB Herald 1.2. You copied and pasted system, still mentioning a prologue demo. So that needs to be changed.
Okay.
And on Stellar Assault, Shadowmass said it was probably 90% editing and 10% mixing/processing. It was a lot of working, getting a half dozen actors with different microphones and in different recording environments to work together. Yeah, that's another challenge. So
yeah, I want to let Kay know if I did it, I'll personally color in all the nipples into steam hearts. All the nipples. That'll be my translation. I'll translate it, and I'll like pencil in the nipples.
Oh my god!
I don't think the game has them though. I think it's censored. Doesn't it just go to a black screen for that?
Well, no,
because those screens are
nipples.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I played through the game once a long time ago and I didn't play it again, so I don't remember.
Yeah, I need to add in the Pokies.
Dragons of Saturn
Pokies.
jokes. He's like, Dave, quit playing so much Sega Touring Car. You have articles to finish. This is literally the a product of me working on these articles while I'm at work, and I'm gonna get a phone call or something like that, and then I completely get distracted, and then I think I finished, and then no, I didn't.
I feel that I've definitely left placeholder text in articles,
and I think the thing is that first of all, I had to get like the whole format of everything with everybody's name linking back to their SegaXtreme thing, and then all the images and stuff like that, and it's just like, I was bound to forget something or leave some kind of what do you call it, boilerplate in, which some of these are boilerplate. We will fix it. You can all slap me. You can all slap me on the proverbial online wrist.
He's gonna send me a samurai sword and be like, next time you see Dave, cut that motherfucker in half.
Oh my God, Pat. I'm not gonna hurt Dave.
No, that's okay. I deserve it.
Yeah, Trekkies is translating Devil Summoner Soul Hackers, which is awesome. Well, he's taking the translation from the 3DS official localization, which is in itself a ton of work, because apparently they started with the Saturn version, which that was the only version that existed before they ported it to 3DS, and then they sort of just adapted it to work on the 3DS, and then added new stuff because they added some new content to that game as well. Right. So he's just been trying to figure out how to
work his way backwards.
All that stuff out. Right. Yeah. Work his way backward and skip over the new stuff that isn't in the Saturn original. And
see you, Nathan. Thanks for joining us.
Ton of work, but it's awesome.
Yeah, no, it is awesome. And so I guess it's safe to assume this probably will be entered in next year complete, perhaps. I don't know.
Okay. But also both the Saturn and PS1 version in the 3DS version, plus odd glue code, Trekkie said. So yeah, that's a lot to sort through, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, we appreciate Trekkies. This is awesome.
We do.
Yeah.
I am hype. I want my anime weeb games. I want it so bad.
On Saturn specifically, nowhere
else.
Yeah,
Saturn. Get that 3DS garbage out of here. I don't know any loser that plays. What loser collects and plays 3DS? I don't know any of them.
2024.
Thumbs down. Whoever plays that.
Pat alienates like half of our audience.
I know. I'm playing. I love the 3DS.
We mentioned
a big fan too.
We mentioned the Dungeon Master Nexus translation kit. That's pretty amazing. Like the fact that there's like several tools to help somebody do a translation of this game. Talk about like over engineered. Like, that's amazing. That, I mean, I granted, like the folks like Malenko or like Trekkies, I'm sure they've got tools sitting on their desktop that they're working with on a daily basis to do this stuff, right? But so what he's done is like basically put this together in kind of like a suite of software for folks to be able to like translate this game into other languages. That's pretty cool.
Honestly, that's probably one of my favorite ones that's been submitted. Like this is going to make translating for other people so easy. And the best part is I can edit naughty words into it. Like, yo, dumbass, get through this effing cave.
We're almost done. We are almost done. 240p test suite. We talked about this before. Artemio Urbina's 240p test suite is a valuable tool. Hitomi 2500 brings us a kind of a work in progress version. I guess there are a few little things that have to be worked out in order to ensure accurate results on some of the tests. Like, I don't know, Dan, you were saying you did like a latency test
on my HDD, which reminds me, I need to try it out on my CRT now that I brought a
you
CRT
should.
up in the living room.
Good
I
point.
should see how that goes.
Yeah, let me know how that goes. I'm interested.
Lag.
But I mean, again, it does represent. It's one of the last holdouts. Like the Saturn, we were all waiting. There's several other consoles supported, but you had Dreamcast, you had Mega Drive, Super Nintendo, but we finally got the Saturn version. So shouts to Hitomi. Night of Dragon gave us that modified Chronos emulator. So that's awesome. He's looking
for NetLink.
Just another way for more people to be able to play, cross-platform and play online without necessarily having to shell out for hardware. Rika PSO gave us the Shining Force 3 translation tools. So again, submission consists of a suite of programs to edit certain files in all of Shining Force 3's scenarios. This way, fans of the game can change virtually anything they wish. What an amazing idea. But I guess it's not translation tool then, right? I don't know why I put translation tool. Maybe that was a mistake as well. Because in this case, it looks more like hacking tools.
Hacking tools, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I got to change that. Not a translation. That's okay.
We forgive you, Dave, for your transgressions against us.
A lot of work to do.
Your translations against us.
Of which there are many. Hey, at least we're talking about all this stuff, you know. That was the point of this article, is to acknowledge these projects and talk about them. And if I have to take a few slaps on the wrist, then I will. And then the Sega Saturn Film Muxer, which we mentioned, is compatible now with ADX audio and audio extraction. So awesome. Shouts to Trekkies for that. A better tool.
Thank you, Mr. Trekkies.
And
much
tons
love.
of folks are using it because it's a very, very good tool that works really well. So now, and I mean, right? Didn't you guys even use it in the Stellar Assault thing? No?
Yes.
Oh,
Shadow Mask did use this Muxer. Yep.
Okay. So that's awesome. Then there you go. It's a example of, there's an example of a project where it came in clutch. So that's awesome.
Clutch cargo.
Yeah. So definitely shouts to SegaXtreme. Shouts to SegaXtreme and to Emerald for hosting and running this competition.
Organizing it. Yeah.
Emerald's got a baby this year. I don't think
Congrats,
that's
Emerald.
Yeah. He had a baby a while back, and that's made him more busy. And I totally understand that. So I know that deadlines have gotten pushed back, and things are a little bit harder, but they're still doing it. So that's there's something to be said for that, and we really appreciate it. And let's see here. What does Knight say? Not yet. Highly doubt I will support the browser. Oh, okay.
Because Frog Bowl had said we can visit SHIRO from a Kronos Netlink edition.
Oh,
so
right,
Knight's
yeah.
saying that. Yeah.
No, because that's
The Klingons cannot access the SHIRO stuff yet.
Yeah.
Unfortunate.
I mean, I don't think that's that's just like not the plan. The plan is really to
Gowron.
more or less to bolster the online net play community, basically. Though that would be rad. But then again, you'd be visiting the web on a computer that could just visit the web.
That's not the point, Dave. It's Saturn. It's what matters.
I know with Frogville, it's about what you can do. It's just, we do it because we can, you know.
Right. We don't stop to think of whether we should.
Wow. Okay, so we went a little long with that, and now we need to talk about June Classic CC and Rope Club.
Do we want to hold this stuff for next week since it's we're running up on time?
Yeah, I actually have to leave like at 5:30, so.
Okay, well, it's 4:27 right now. I mean, yeah, we could. Honestly, I need to look into this because I've never played this game. I'm going to be honest with you. And it's a golf game too, which actually is intriguing. And it looks to be like a 3D golf game. So
it's by the Pebble Beach guys. So
it's by the Pebble Beach guy. Okay, so I've never played this, and I have gone out and looked for like different golf games on Saturn.
Pebble Beach.
This is not one that I'm.
Too bad they don't have a nice mustachioed man on this one.
Rope Club. The Rope Club. So yeah, no, I'm gonna check that out, and then we can talk about it next week. Does it have Fred Couples? Who knows? I doubt it.
It has the dude that died in the plane crash.
It's the Jun Classic CC, so I imagine it's like a Japanese tournament.
June Classic Country Club.
Yeah.
Oh, Payne Stewart.
Country Club. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. This one actually features Payne Stewart.
What is a rope? What is a Rope Club?
I'm in pain.
I don't know. It says licensed by Rope Club.
Oh, licensed by Rope Club. Oh, maybe it's like
it's June Classic Club and Rope Club. So maybe there's two different country clubs represented in this game. Because I don't know anything about this either, aside from what Peter said in his thing. So.
I got you.
We should visit the Rope Club.
So it's like Pebble Beach, which is also a country club, but it's like Japanese country clubs. I gotcha. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
We'll have to go.
All right, so I will talk about this really quick. I'll try to talk about it quick. I wrote an angry article about how Sega Touring Car Championship is good. I was talking to the guys in the SHIRO community event chat, and talking to Joe and everything. We all just kind of came to the conclusion, and even Dan, helped support this conclusion because Dan's doing quite well. Actually, you're in the middle of the leaderboard, and you're way ahead of, but you're way ahead of like where anybody was weeks ago, when nobody was, before we were doing this, when just a few people were posting to the leaderboards, you're already way ahead of that. You know what I mean? So you've had success with the game, and you've, I think, come to the conclusion that it's not terrible, right?
It's very, it's not terrible at all. It's very playable. It's,
Trekkie's jokes, he was able to fix the frame rate. I mean, I think he's referring to his flat shaded, or his like wireframe mode.
The wireframe mode.
But here's the thing. This game doesn't just suffer from a low frame rate in places, which it does. Admittedly, it has a low frame rate. It suffers from about 20 years of really harsh slander from talking heads on YouTube saying it is a bad game because they went in to try to get 15 minutes of B-roll and they sucked. And they hit walls left and right. They couldn't get the footage they wanted to. They looked like idiots. And so to save face, it's a bad game, right? It's poorly.
You can't learn this game in 15 minutes. That's the thing. It's not Daytona. It's not as pick up and play.
And we also live in this age of, and I've talked to Pat about this before. Like, there's it's nice to have an iPod with several terabytes of music, right? But there's always that dilemma where you basically have like decision atrophy or whatever. You cannot make a decision of what music to listen to because you just have too many choices. You don't end up listening to music as intentionally or as deliberately as when you maybe like have just one album and you put a record on, right? And the same thing goes with games. And when we were kids, we would get a game. Maybe we bought the game. Maybe it wasn't the greatest game, but now we were in $50 and we had to make the most of it, right? Or maybe it was a great game, but we didn't like it immediately because, like for me, Zelda, Link to the Past, I didn't get it at first. I thought, well, my dad got this game for my birthday that I didn't even ask for. He got it because so many people recommended it. And I was just like, oh, it's not like a run and gun or like a platformer. You actually have to like think to play this game. But lo and behold, it ends up being one of my favorite games of all time, Link to the Past, right? And it was just one of those things where I had the game and I had to just like get stuck in and play it, right? And then you discover, okay, there's a lot to love about this game. Well, Sega Touring Car, the developers, they gave us so much information on the old archived website. And one of the things, I'm not going to read this whole article. If you guys want to read it, go ahead. I do think I come off as salty, and I am. I just think that some people suck at this game, and they just need to like give it some time. They need to play it for a couple hours. What they will probably go in thinking is that it's supposed to be like an arcade, like a typical arcade drifting racer, like Sega Touring Car, like Sega Rally or Daytona. It is not. It was an arcade racer. It was a Sega arcade racer, but the developers just were going in a completely opposite direction. And AM Annex, the word annex is not derogatory. It was a small team of developers headed by Mizuguchi. It was Tetsuya Mizuguchi. He basically like handpicked a small select group of individuals from AM3 to make this game that he wanted to make, which was a grip racing game that would test drivers to their limits and the limits of their vehicles. Basically, they wanted to try to capture the nuance of racing in the sense that you needed to focus on contact with the road surface. You needed to focus on shifting the weight of your vehicle, and you needed to control your steering and your braking, and it was more than just, something that you could pick up and play really easily and be god at. You'd actually have to work at it a little bit. They did location tests, and many players complained even back in the day that the game was too difficult, but the team decided not to rework the game based on this feedback, as they could not reduce the game's difficulty without making compromises to the level of realism that they had achieved, which was something that they were quite proud of. Despite my own initial difficulties with the game, being a huge fan of racing games, especially Sega racers, I stuck with it, and I found some success tuning cars and stuff like that, and trying to make them, for the longest time, I basically just tuned the cars so that they would behave how I thought they should behave, like other Sega racing games. But then Gregory Rasputin and Joe, Sega RPG fans, suggested that we have this SHIRO community event where we all play this game. And other folks were doing quite well at it. Joe was doing really well. Sega Steve joined in, and folks were doing well with the stock settings, with the cars as they were designed, And I quickly abandoned my tuning settings and said, okay, fine. And if folks are going all in to this game, and giving it a chance, I'm going to do the same. And in really short order, we all got good. I'd say that we have a bunch of experts on this game now in our community, and it really didn't take that much. Even Dan, said, okay, what's all the fuss about? I'm going to get in, and you did, and you've found, success on all the tracks.
I've played this game for hours and hours now.
Right.
But it was just because it sucked me in,
But you're not a glutton for punishment, right?
Play it for right? No.
Yeah,
no.
You wouldn't just play.
Usually will bounce off a game if it's too hard. But I was getting the hang of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, and hey, you know what? To be fair, maybe most people just suck in general, because I put a 3D controller in Pudgy Bunny's hands and said, "Here, give it a shot. Here's Race on Country with the Mercedes." And the time that's posted on there is the time that she put up her very first time playing that game, and it was it was a little over 2 minutes, but it wasn't a bad time. It wasn't awful. She did pretty good, So it is not a bad game whatsoever.
I will say
Sega touring car.
I will say that Shadow wants to know, quickly explain what the challenge is, modes, laps, etc. Okay, so the challenge that we're hosting currently is a lot of things. There's the arcade 2 lap, which is the typical just arcade mode. You play all 3 courses, 2 laps. Then there's individual time attacks on each course. And then there's also what was it? There were some of the, were we ranking the net events? We were ranking some of the net events. We were doing urban and country, urban and boomtown. With those ones, you just need to get a sub 32 or a sub 28 second lap. So no net events. Sorry, I stand corrected on that. But yeah, essentially, it was just a fun idea to get the community talking about a game that kind of goes overlooked, right? And my hat's off to Joe for suggesting it, because he's kind of fallen in love with the game. That isn't to say that it's dethroned Sega Rally as our favorite Sega Saturn racer, but it is to say that we have a new appreciation for the game, and we realize now that it really wasn't the game, it was us. The developers, they designed this game to be played a certain way, and when you do that, you get the most out of it. So they also went on record kind of I said, surely, in very quick order, several members of our online community became near experts on this game practically overnight. Surely this couldn't be possible, right? How could so many average Joe gamers pick up this game and post competitive track times in just a couple days of playing it? Could it be that one simply needed to spend some time with the game in order to figure it out? No. I know. No. I'm a little sarcastic in here, but the point is if you're choosing on an ODE some games and you think you're just going to jump into Sega Touring Car and play 15 minutes of it, you're going to blow. And if you do the same thing,
unless you're Bunny,
if you do the but then Bunny had the 3D control pad, right? And that is an important thing that I do mention. I made sure that
she had the 3D control pad and she raced on with the Mercedes, which is a good fast car.
Dan says initial D though. Okay, so we'll get to that. But I mean, the 3D control pad is definitely recommended. I don't recommend you guys play this with the digital pad. I don't think. I think unless you're VBT, who's one of those crazy folks who's able to do good at this game with the D-pad, or Lewis, what was it, the Sega nerd? Lewis, who also posted a time to the leaderboard originally, was using the D-pad. I think most people are going to be frustrated using the D-pad, but this game was made for the 3D control pad, so I definitely think folks should use it. And then I went ahead and just gave folks, I kind of localized the guide from the old archived website, and then fleshed it out kind of, by localizing, I mean, I knew what they were trying to say, but a lot of it was English. So I just kind of translated it and then gave a couple of my own thoughts as well. But essentially you can choose from the all-wheel drive cars, which are, they have greater stability in steering and a wider range of effective turn-in points. And essentially, you can have a lot of success with the all-wheel drive cars, and you don't have to be incredibly precise, because there are multiple points where you could turn in and still get through cleanly. Whereas with the rear-wheel drive cars, you really have to be more precise if you don't want to slide, basically. So that's the difference. The rear-wheel drive cars, they have more power, or at least they can get more power to the road, because they have less friction in their drivetrain. Being rear-wheel drive, they're a little bit lighter, and they have less friction in their drivetrain, so they tend to be more powerful. But because it's rear-wheel drive, it's it's easy to slip, and you don't want to slip in this game. So here's a guide. Basically, folks can read the guide if they want to.
Can this make me good at the game?
Figure out how.
Yes.
What can make you good at the game? Use the 3D control pad and spend a couple hours at it, honestly. And if you have any questions, consult this guide. But really, this guide is really for folks who are like looking to get faster, basically. Because like I think if you just use simple racing strategies like out in out racing, where you ride along the outside of the track and then you move toward the inside of the turn.
I might go with the hot take in the chat.
Play a lot of STC and get good at it eventually, or just go play a better game. Yeah, okay.
Malenko, please.
That's okay.
Malenko with those hot takes.
That's okay. My hot take, I guess I consider my take hot because everybody else would have you believe that it's a bad game. But I say that it is not. I say it is a good game. Folks are wrong. People just suck and they don't want to admit it. So
I mean, if you think about it, people say Mr. Bones is a good game, and I mean, obviously we all know that's not a correct opinion that people can.
I don't think we're going to be having.
Okay,
so I don't think we're going to be having a Mr. Bones community challenge anytime soon.
I think we should.
No.
I mean, I think that would be pretty painful.
You guys are actually getting me hyped on playing this. I actually do, unironically, do want to play Sega Touring Car and see how bad I blow.
I look forward to seeing how you do. No, you'll do good. You'll do good.
Mr. Bobies, what the fuck? All right.
Yeah.
Anyway, Dave.
Is that my name after I do? If I translate that one game, Steam Hearts, Mr. Bobies.
Should we read some Patreon subscribers?
Yeah, let's do it.
As thanks. Okay.
Yeah, let's do it. All right, let's see here. Bringing up the patron subscribers.
Bringing it, Pat. Okay. I can stream it.
So we've got
Mr. Boobies. That's not my name.
Chat is wilding today.
Dude,
yeah,
I love chat.
So patron supporters at the $10 and up level, we really appreciate you, and you are A Murder of Crows, Blue Moon 95, Casual Seth, Cerulean, Chris Piper, Chris 1997, XX, Daniel Fredrickson, David Zaney, Derek Pascarella, A-Team, Emerald Nova, Fat Drunk Friend Otaku, Jam Clash or Rank, Ian Kegg, Jay Hersey, Johannes Fetz, Justin, Memphis, Michael Sabag, Nate Lawrence, Normal Guy, Newtrageous, Robert Ramsey, Rowan Dinkt, Sega Steve, Shadow Mask, Stone Man, Tanuki Trev, The Sega Guys, What Is This, and Young Money Swee.
So we,
all of you guys, we really, really appreciate your top tier support. We also,
thank you.
And as a result, we read you guys out on the show every week. So if you guys want your name read out on the show, support us at the $10 and up level. If not, we still appreciate your support no matter what it is, even if it's the 99 pennies that Wiener Bob gave us a few times.
Pat pennies.
Yeah, the Pat pennies.
Lots of Pat pennies in this chat.
But really,
Dave and Dan dollars.
Oh God, you guys just disappeared. How did that work? I don't know.
It just happens sometimes.
It's just teleportation. Do you need to get on the? You need to work out with me, Dave. You get like Super Saiyan powers in your workout, and nobody knows this because nobody works out. But if you work out hard enough, you get Super Saiyan powers.
You get Super Saiyan.
Legit. Yeah,
nice.
Work out with me. We'll get Super Saiyan powers. We'll teleport the CRTs. It'll be sweet.
Okay.
Dave's like,
yeah.
Shut up, Pat, please.
So what do they?
God,
so what do patrons get at the very basic level? Just for folks so they know.
Basically, they support us. They get their name and their credits, name in the magazine, of course. Whenever we do that again, But they get a lot of benefits, like at the lowest level. So there's benefits on the bottom level for that. You get your name in the credits for the show, for the credits, you know.
Yeah. And when do they get insider chat?
That's level 3.
That's level 3.
So tier 2. Tier 2, the $3 and up level is you get insider chat, get early Patreon and Panda videos and Patreon videos from us.
Mm-hmm.
Get early stuff. You get your name in the credits as well, the lower tier ones, and of course the insider Discord chat. So there's benefits for that. And then you get your name priority for like projects we do, like the modem, Netlink modems, the magazine releasing early first. So there's a lot of potential for that.
Mm-hmm. All right, cool.
Yeah, join our Patreon if you guys enjoy the content,
and if you can't, that's totally fine.
Join it.
Join our Discord though, okay? So just join our Discord and become a part of the conversation. Join our community events. That's awesome. Just adding yourself to the concept. Yeah, we got a lot going on. There's a lot of cool people in this community doing cool stuff, and we just keep the party rolling. So yeah, like if you can watch the show and give us thumbs up and help share it out, that also helps a great deal as well. So anyway, anything else you guys want to plug or say before we head out?
I don't think so. Everybody,
Game on Expo.
Play your Saturn
coming up.
Oh yeah, Game on Expo coming up. That's true.
Coming up. Come see us. Me and Dave will be there. Adam will be there. We'll have the CRTs.
When is that?
That is the 15th through the 17th, I believe, of March.
March? Okay,
yep, 15th through the 17th. Ooh, somebody's beeping at me through the house.
Uh-oh. All right. Yeah, so anyway, thanks everybody for joining us. This has been SaturnDave, Danthrax, and TraynoCo reminding you that you must play Sega Saturn. Until next time.
You must.
We'll catch you later. See ya.
Matrix shooting, sideways shooting. I'm curving the bullet.
SEGA Saturn, SHIRO!